Hey everyone, what's up, America? Just days before the fourth anniversary of Russia's full scale invasion of Ukraine, CNN dropped a bombshell investigative piece looking back at the first months and years of this brutal war. And right in the middle of it, one explosive detail Vladimir Putin tried to keep buried. One of the absolute core objectives of his entire plan was the physical elimination, the assassination of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. That's right, kill him, not capture, not force into exile, eliminate. And get this, Russian operatives, potential assassins, were already positioned in an apartment directly across the street from the presidential office on Bankova Street in Kyiv, literally staring out the window at Zelenskyy's workplace. Imagine that for a second. You're sitting in your office, running a country under siege, and death is waiting 50 meters away. Friends, this isn't a movie script. This was real. And I've been saying it from day one. Zelenskyy has had a target on his back since literally hour one of this war. You can love him, you can hate him, you can criticize his decisions. That's your right. But let's be crystal clear. He is the living symbol of Ukrainian statehood. He is the man the Ukrainian people elected in a free and fair vote. And right now, during wartime when new elections literally cannot be held, no acting president, no speaker of parliament, no temporary figure can carry the same weight or legitimacy he does. Now picture what would have happened if Putin had succeeded. Plan A. Take out Zelenskyy, install his own puppets. Former President Viktor Yanukovych, the guy Ukrainians chased out during the Revolution of Dignity, and Viktor Medvedchuk, Putin's longtime personal friend, the guy Ukraine just traded back in a prisoner swap. They would have been placed in power temporarily to legally sign whatever surrender documents Moscow demanded and slowly dismantle Ukraine as an independent nation. Plan B, if Yanukovych couldn't be brought back. Massive pressure, blackmail, and death threats on whoever became acting president, most likely the Speaker of Parliament. Not negotiations, not compromise, pure ultimatum. Capitulate or die. Sound familiar? Hold on tight, because just a few weeks ago, we watched almost the exact same playbook unfold in Venezuela. Donald Trump greenlit a lightning-fast operation that effectively removed Nicolas Maduro from power. Now Delcy Rodriguez is acting as interim leader, and she's already out there threatening everyone. Fall in line or end up like Maduro. Same tactic, right? Remove the top guy, break the institutions, install your preferred order. But here's the massive difference, and it's why Putin failed where that operation succeeded. It's not just that U.S. special services operate on another level compared to Russia's chaotic, corrupt machine. In Ukraine, Putin tried to assassinate the president of a real democracy, a man freely elected by millions in 2019 in elections made possible precisely because of the Revolution of Dignity in 2013-2014. Ukrainians went to the streets, risked their lives, and overthrew the Yanukovych regime to end the era when one man could steal an entire country. They wanted freedom. They wanted Europe. They wanted the right to choose. That's why even people who don't like Zelenskyy personally were ready to stand in front of tanks to defend democracy itself. Because they understood, if you kill the elected president, you don't just change the government. You kill the people's right to choose. You kill political choice, economic choice, civilizational choice. Russia wanted to take all of that away forever. Now look at Venezuela. Maduro was the heir to Hugo Chavez, a populist who turned a flawed but still democratic country into a classic autocracy. Rigged elections, destroyed economy, tight alliance with Moscow and Havana. Even his own inner circle wasn't exactly dying to protect him. They're already positioning themselves to grab power and money now that he's gone. There was no real democracy left to defend. So the goal looks similar. Remove the number one guy to collapse state institutions and put them at the service of a foreign power. But the foundation underneath was completely different. That's exactly why Putin threw everything at Kyiv from day one. That's why elite Spetsnaz tried to air assault Hostomel Airport in the first hours, to seize the capital in a matter of hours, kill or capture Zelenskyy, and broadcast to the world, game over. That's why the idea of eliminating Zelenskyy never disappeared. It's been a top priority for Russian special services for 4 straight years. And I guarantee you, it still is. Putin can scream all he wants about Zelenskyy being illegitimate because elections aren't happening during wartime, but deep down he knows the truth. A president elected by the entire nation on a massive turnout has 1,000 times more legitimacy than any random parliament speaker Moscow could try to prop up. Let's go back to 2014 for a moment so you see the full picture. Back then, Russia succeeded in forcing Yanukovych to flee to Rostov. He abandoned his duties. The entire vertical of power collapsed. What happened next? Putin grabbed Crimea in days and tried to swallow the entire east and south of Ukraine. He partially succeeded, but only in Donbass. Why only there? Because that's exactly where Russian agents and Yanukovych-era corrupt networks were most deeply embedded. In Odessa, in Kharkiv, the resistance was stronger. So the playbook has always been the same. Degrade Ukrainian state institutions, eliminate anyone with a real popular mandate, replace them with puppets. And that plan is still alive today, no matter how much denazification or protecting Russian speakers propaganda he pumps out. The end goal remains: erase Ukraine as a sovereign nation. Now, why should any of this matter to you, sitting in Ohio, Texas, California, Florida? Because when a dictator can simply murder the elected leader of a neighboring democracy and install his own guy, that's a green light to the entire world. It's a signal to China about Taiwan, to Iran about the Middle East, to North Korea. It's a direct threat to global stability. It's higher gas prices, disrupted supply chains, more risk to American troops and American interests down the road. We already saw how this war rocked the entire planet. Imagine if Putin had won in the first 2 weeks. Imagine the domino effect. So I'm going to say it straight. Supporting Ukraine is not charity. It's an investment in the free world's survival. It's defending the same values our grandfathers fought for in World War II. Freedom, self-determination, the right of people to choose their own destiny. All right, I want to hear from you right now in the comments. 1. Did you know about Putin's direct plan to assassinate Zelenskyy? 2. Do you think the West should be doing even more, way more, to help Ukraine win? 3. Are you still willing to support the fight for democracy overseas, even if it costs money and political capital? Drop your thoughts below. Like this video if it made you stop and think. Subscribe if you want more deep dives like this. Next time we'll go even further. Who exactly was running those sniper teams? Why Hostomel became a symbol of Ukrainian defiance? And how Ukraine managed to survive against all odds. Thank you for spending the last half hour with me. You guys are the best community on YouTube. Stay strong, stay free. God bless America. See you in the next one.